presentation will be useful to you throughout your career, throughout your life. Thank you.
Mungkin part-time job as net join people, admit people in. Okay, I think we can start in the meantime. So I'm ready. You can start at any point in time.
Yes, let's start, please.
Let's start. Okay. Thank you. I think we have still a few people joining in. Thank you, each and everyone, for allowing me to just get in between your dinner. Okay, I know maybe all you have had dinner, and it's going to be 1.5 hours of pure joy. I'm going to enjoy it because I'm going to learn from this presentation as well. Because let me just tell you a secret. I'm afraid of public speaking myself. Okay, so most of you all, we are going to see that, and we are going to see how we can go beyond, go above this fear of public speaking, and how with a proper preparation, you can like ace what we call your next presentation. Okay, now let's get started. Few people admitting, still admitting a few more people. Okay, so thank you to the, I think 2 or 3 groups who have invited me for this maybe presentation. Let's call that a presentation or a training. Okay, but I'm pretty sure that each and every one of us are going to learn new things today. That's why I'm here. I'm looking forward to maybe having not too much of questions. You can ask questions, but easy questions, not too difficult questions. Okay, so again, first question for you. Oh my God, first slide and first question for you. Get ready, people. Okay. What is the number one fear in this world? What is the number one fear in this world? A, clowns. B, insect, rats, or any rodents that you know, or lizards as well. C is death. And D is public speaking. Anyone? Let me hear that in the chat room. So public speak, I can see public speaking, I can see D, and you can use your lifeline as well. If you're not too sure, you can have 50-50, or even phone a friend or ask the audience. I'm asking the audience. Okay, some say death. Oh my God. Okay, some may be telling it's COVID, maybe D. So most of you is about C and D. So roughly speaking, you have got the right answer. Okay, so the number one fear in this world is what we call glossophobia, okay, which is fear of public speaking. Glossophobia, it's a technical term, it's a medical term for people who suffer. Let's call that an illness. I won't call that an illness. I will call that maybe a barrier. Okay, so it's a fear of public speaking. So this is the number one fear in the world. And the second one is actually death. Okay, so in terms of statistics, 73% of people in this world suffer from the fear of public speaking, or what we call glossophobia. I repeat, 73%. Let's say 3/4, 3/4 of people across this world suffer, let's call that suffer, okay, or are afraid of public speaking. So if you are maybe afraid, slightly uneasy with public speaking, don't worry, you are among the maybe the most popular part of the population. But we have some solutions for you. So as I told you, fear of public speaking is number one, and death is number two. So just imagine we are at a funeral, okay? All, not all, but like 3/4 of people would prefer to be in the coffin than to be doing the farewell message. Okay, they prefer to maybe to be in the coffin, to be dead, than to be doing the farewell message. So this is how hard, how maybe challenging public speaking can be for some people. But here we are today. We are willing to learn about public speaking. I am a super timid guy. You may believe me or not, okay? But I have been able to, I know that for me to be able to reach where I want to reach, I had to break this timidity inside me. Okay, but I'm still timid. I'm still an introvert, but let's say now I'm getting into my mode of presentation. I'm going to go beyond. I'm going to go above my fear of public speaking. Okay, that's very good first slide. So for those who don't know me, Smile, you can quote me Smile. No need for you to be like so formal with me. I'm still admitting a few more people in. So basically, I've learned public speaking through coaching as well. Okay, I've joined the John Maxwell speakers, John Maxwell team, and we have a John Maxwell speakers club in Mauritius. And there we practice public speaking, leadership, communication, lots of that. This is how I've been able to maybe move from one level and reaching different heights. I'm still a student, but I can let me just see if we can mute a few people out there. So just if possible, if you can mute yourself, it's going to be easier for all of us. Okay, so I'm still a student in public speaking. I'm still a student. I'm a student in presentation skills as well, as you are all. But I've been maybe trying to make my craft better with time. You are going to see how, through the sets of slides, we are improving. Okay, this presentation, I made it, I think, at the University of Mauritius, maybe 5 years back, if I'm not mistaken. Some of the content are still the same, but I have completely changed. It's a whole revamping of this presentation, of this PowerPoint that you're going to see today. And if you give me maybe next year, I'm going to change that as well, because it's a moving field. I'm learning new things. I'm going to improve it. I'm going to share new things as well with you. Okay, so this is it. Some ground rules for us to have like a good time together, for us to be on time, to not meet any issue. Every participant, please be on mute. Basically, when you log in, you are on mute, but just in case if you have unmuted yourself, just mute you so that we don't have feedback sound or feed forward sound and so on. You can ask questions in the chat box. Okay, maybe at a later stage we can tackle the question, but note your question. And I will be asking you for some participation, as we have just done for the Kiva des Millions. I forgot to tell you the winners. They need to liaise with Miss Zuleika for the award. I think there are 10,000 rupees cash prize and so on. For all those who got the good answer for the previous question, just liaise with her. She's going to give you your prize. So this session is being recorded. Let me just check. Okay. Yes, it is being recorded. Okay, and the recording, I'm going to upload that. You can come back later to that, but I will encourage you, okay, to take notes. There may be things which, like I'm telling you, it is part of the MRA sponsoring. That's good. Okay, there may be things which I'm saying which may trigger new things in your mind. This is how maybe if you're attending a workshop, you won't be able to maybe master all the things, capture everything. There may be only one or two ideas which are going to be mind-boggling for you. It's going to set things rolling for you. And this is what you're looking for in a training or things like that. Okay, so go for maybe ideas, get your pen and paper to note maybe a few things which are going to be striking for you. I think we are nearly over 150 already, but you will see that we are at different levels of our presentation skill or public speaking skill. And each and every one of us, we are going to maybe reinforce things which have learned, okay, good practices, and maybe learn 1, 2, 3, 5, 10 new things. Okay, so we are different level. People are going to maybe use this presentation, this training differently. It may happen that the internet connection gets disconnected. I'm not at fault. It may be some Maharaja, but it will reconnect again. Don't worry about that. It will reconnect automatically. So let's have a look at our presentation guideline. What are we? Let's call that an overview of what we are going to do. Basically, if we are talking about presentation skills, like public speaking skills, we need to have a speech. So in terms of speech, we are going to stress on stress management. We are going to stress on stress management. And then what makes a good speech? That's what we call an anatomy of a good speech. We are going to see maybe my best approach to preparing a good speech. And maybe it's not a general, but it's a usually approved way of writing a speech. Okay, next one, we are going to have a look at visual aids. This is more of the presentation. Okay, we call that visual aids. Okay, aids mean it's helping you. It's not the presentation, it is helping you to present. Okay, now things are a bit different because this presentation is mostly maybe 75% for face-to-face presentation. Nowadays, due to COVID, due to new things happening, it may happen that we need to do like virtual presentation as well. So then what we call presentation aids are going to be more useful because you will need, people are not going to see you as such, like hold your whole figure. Okay, they are going to see maybe your face, maybe half of your body, but then your presentation needs to be more powerful, and we are going to see how we can make that, how we can achieve that. Next point is going to be delivery. You may be having like a good speech, powerful, maybe logistics, PowerPoint, and so on. But then how about your delivery? Okay, so this is maybe the triggering thing. Maybe it's a bit difficult for some people to deliver, to open your mouth. You have the speech within you, but how to push that forward, how to share that with an audience, this is the most important thing which we are going, maybe what we are going to see today. Okay, let me just check. I think everyone is in. We are going to have a look at the VAPER approach as well. We are going to learn what is VAPER later on. This is basically what we know, basically the main part of the things. Next, we have a homework part. The number one is about doing a homework. We need to prepare to be able to run a good presentation or good speech. And then afterwards, we have a feedback stage as well. We are going to have a look at that. Both are as important as these. So this is our agenda for today. Let's get started. An outline. So if we have a look at the core part, what makes a good speech, key features of an effective presentation, that's going to be a clear logical structure. Just as we have just said, we know where we're going, what we expect to have, what we expect to see in the coming slide. Okay, so we need to have a clear logical structure. Be careful that at times we know the audience well. It may be our friends, it may be our lecturers, okay, it may be our personnel, it may be our colleagues, but at times we don't know who the audience are going to be. Okay, we are going to come back to that in terms of the audience later on, but in terms of the structure, you need to be able to know you can't start a presentation maybe from the back or maybe at the end. It may be a technique. Okay, we are going to see different techniques about how to start, but then it should be a flow. It can't be like hopping from here and there. Okay, comme on dit en français, sauter de coq à l'âne. Okay, moving around differently. People are going to get it because you know your content. I know what I'm going to present to you. I know I have made it a flow. But if I was not able to do it a flow, you will be getting lost in the presentation. So first of all, number one, a clear logical structure. It is advised, okay, for my generation at least, to plan it on paper. Okay, we use paper to plan it. It's for me as well, it's easier. But most of you students, you come from another generation, which we call the Generation Z. So I can't generalize it. It may be, okay, I have some students who don't like to write. They don't like to write at all. So in class, they're using their laptop to take notes. They're using their mobile phone or tablet to take notes. I find it difficult for me to do so. Okay, but for them, it's a new generation. So it may be a good way for you. But it is said in mostly all books which have been written on presentation, planning, and so on, they do it on paper. So up to you to see which one fits you better. Then is effective visual aids. Okay, use of the visual aids, which we are going to see. It's a huge bulk of this presentation. Then we have the delivery techniques. So delivery techniques, we can split that into three main parts. Here, 1, 2, 3. Vocabulary. Okay, at times you will see that why like someone is afraid of speaking because he may be missing some of the vocabulary. So how do you plan? How do you make up for the vocabulary? We are going to see that. So body language. Okay, I'm afraid to be standing in front of each and every one. I don't know, should I move? Should I make a twist? I don't know how I need to control my body. Okay, the body language is going to reflect at times your stress level and so on. But we have some guidelines for you. We'll see how this is going to help you as well. And then we have the general public speaking skills. Okay, so this is like the core of the subject matter. Let's start with number one. Okay, we said the homework is going to be the number one thing that you need to do. So homework is about preparation. So let's hear what Abraham Lincoln actually said. So he said that if I had 6 hours to chop down a tree, I will spend the first 4 hours sharpening the axe. So this means that if you are given maybe 4 weeks or 1 week or several days to plan a presentation, okay, I will spend much more time preparing. This preparation time is so important. So you need to spend much more time preparing so that when you have to do your presentation, when you need to be on stage, you are on the dot. Preparing, practicing, managing your stress level, getting confident about what you need to present. Okay, so this is what we need to talk about preparation. Okay, there's also another saying which goes like, failing to plan is planning to fail. So we need to plan. It's not only about the public speaking or the PowerPoint itself. Planning goes far beyond that. Let's say we are going to talk on logistics, but let's handle that right away. You need to know what is going to be your venue. Where are you going to present? Is it going to be on auditorium? Is it going to be in the wide auditorium? Is it going to be in a class, in the lecture theater? Know beforehand where you're going to present. We are talking about face-to-face presentation. Then know who is going to be your audience. Okay, what will be the amount of time that you're going to have? Who, if there's a jury, who are going to judge you, who are going to mark you? No, at times it is not maybe made available. It is not known beforehand. But if you are able to know, just ask. Okay, and then you are able to know so that when you see them, you are not surprised for the first time. Okay, so you can know, you can expect things to be like this. So you have already the idea, the scenario in your mind. Okay, at times, I'm just saying it like that. It may be true, but at times it may be all of a surprise. You may have planned it. This is what we have in the next slide. Okay, we have what we call Murphy's Law. So if it can go wrong, if anything can go wrong, it will. This is what you need to prepare accordingly. So let's say I'm preparing for a presentation. I have got my PowerPoint slide, well checked, everything is fine. Okay, but then I put it on a pen drive, I bring it to the presentation room. There it's not working. Okay, maybe it has crashed, it is not opening on this maybe laptop and so on. What do? I had this problem previously. What do you do now? So maybe plan some backup, put it on cloud, put it on another pen drive, put it on a CD, put it on your email, plan it. And if you can, bring your own laptop. So if this laptop is not recognizing your file, maybe you have your own, maybe the first file, the traditional, the original file in your laptop, you can run it. If you're maybe at times, if you're bringing your own laptop, the connection to the projector may be different. Okay, so the connection, you may be having HDMI or another type of connection. Okay, the previous one, I think it's called, I don't remember. So the other one, I don't remember it exactly. So be careful. So I have adapters and I don't have only one adapter. As a professional presenter, I have 2 adapters. So if one, it may happen that one fails. So it is what Murphy's Law says, one can fail. Your adapter, you are planning to have an adapter, yes, but then what happens is if this adapter fails, it may happen. Okay, so it's coming from China, it can break. Okay, or let's say you need to have, at times when I'm preparing for a very important presentation, I don't bring one laptop, I bring 2 laptops. So this is in terms of security criteria that you need to put in. Okay, so back up your file, bring whatever, you don't know what types of connection they are going to have. I even have my own HDMI cable to connect. Maybe if the projector is maybe 10 meters away, I have it in my car. I can connect my laptop to this projector. I have been doing lots of presentation. I've had so many problems coming up. And if I'm doing a very good presentation, I need to prepare like a professional presentation. I'm going to put all the chances on my side, because let's say one thing is not working. Maybe the connector is not doing okay. It's not working. What's going to happen? There may be like someone has just put redundancy. That's very good. It may happen that they are going to look for another idea. But what's happening to you? Your stress level is going up and up and up. So you may forget part of your speech. You may forget part of your scenario, what you had to play. Maybe if you were going to role play, if you had maybe a story to tell people, so it may maybe put you out of your comfort zone. Okay, so to be able to be confident in your preparation and what you need to do, just put all the different what we call chances, okay, on your side. Don't take any maybe chances that may go wrong. So remember, there is Murphy-Law. I can tell you that it works. It is omnipresent. Remember Titanic? So it was an unsinkable ship, but on its maiden run, it actually sank. So don't take any chances for that. Next slide. So basically, we have not come to the speech as such, but when you are doing a presentation, what is your goal? What do you want to achieve? There should be only one main goal. You can have 2 or 3, but what is the main? Is it going to impress your maybe your lecturers, those who are marking you? Okay. Is it going to maybe transmit an important message to the population? If you're maybe you need to do a presentation on COVID-19, how to ask students at the university to wear their mask properly, okay, have maybe 1 meter distancing, okay, social distancing. You need to maybe, if as a student union member and so on, you need to do a presentation. So this is your goal, and this is what you need to transmit. This is a main message. This is a core of your message. So you should be able to target that. You should be able to identify this main goal. Then we are going to prepare your message based on the general message on that. What is written here, your main message is a goal, the heart of what you want to present. You need to be able to understand that. Let's have a look at, maybe you may be seeing a Bollywood movie. Okay, it may be, I don't know, the new ones, maybe an old one. So it was maybe the ultimate aim was to say that parents are so important. You need to take care of your parents when they get old. Okay, I think it's Bhagwan, if I'm not mistaken, because my mother has made me watch this maybe 10 times. So it's Bhagwan. So this is the ultimate message in this movie. Okay, what about the different movies? So it may be a 3-hour movie, so but it has the main message in it. Okay, your presentation, your speech should have one of these specific messages in that, and you need to be able to pinpoint that. So then everything is going to rotate, is going to orbit around this one message that you have. I'm meeting a few more people. Next is to know your audience. Okay, so what is about knowing your audience? Basically, the most audiences, okay, their main aim, their main objective is to get out of the room as soon as possible. Most audience, their aim is to go out, to get out of this room as soon as possible, presentation room. For the presenter, his main aim is to get off the stage as soon as possible. Okay, now we are talking about the audience. You need to be able to know by large, okay, who your audience is going to be. Is it going to be student? Is it going only to be maybe lecturers, maybe staff members, your colleagues? Who are by large going to be your maybe audience? Why? Because not maybe preparing for a presentation without knowing your audience, it is tantamount, it is equivalent to writing a love letter. I don't know if you still write love letter. So it's tantamount, it's equivalent to writing a love letter and addressing it to whom it may concern. So you are right, you're preparing a presentation, you don't know who you are addressing that. It's just like you're writing a love letter, okay? And on top, you write it as to whom it may concern. You don't know whom you're addressing your love letter. So what will be the impact of this love letter? Up to you to decide. I don't know if you're still writing love letters or it's just some maybe how the smileys that you share nowadays, I don't know. Okay, so then why it's so important, at times you maybe have a technical audience, okay, those who are able to understand what you're presenting. Maybe if you're in food studies, you're studying food, like if you're my students here, okay, when they speak to me at times, I don't understand the technical terms. For them in the class, they are understanding, they are laughing and each and everything, okay, but then for me, I'm teaching them like part of engineering that they have in food studies. But then when they are sharing their common terms, the jargons that they call it, okay, the jargon, I don't understand it at all. Okay, but then they try to put that in maybe terms. Okay, I will be able then to put it in different terms for me to be able to understand. So know your audience. Else, what will happen if you're throwing a presentation, a high technical presentation, which may be good at an IEEE conference. It's going to be highly ranked there. You maybe get an award for that, but if you throw that to maybe students at the university from different fields and so on, they may, after 5 minutes, they may disconnect. They're going to check their message. They're going to connect with WhatsApp. They're going to check how many contaminations we have had with COVID-19 today. Who is going to feature in the next Bollywood movie? They're going to disconnect from your presentation, from your speech. So as a presenter, we are going to have to see the graph later, and we need to have the attention. We need to maybe to how do I say that? To be striking, and then to maintain the attention level at a high. It's going to go off. Then we need to see how we are going to grab them and say, okay, let's pause speed. Let's get back to where we were. Get them confused at times, get them curious so that they remain with you and they don't jump to maybe another thing that they need to do. Okay, so this was about knowing your audience. Now, number 2 is about the speech itself. Remember, we had 5 steps which we are going to see. Number 1 was about the preparation. Okay, knowing your audience, checking your logistics and so on. Number 2 is about the speech, how you prepare for your speech. And we are going to handle stress management as well in this part. First thing, don't be afraid to be afraid. Okay, don't be afraid to be afraid. It's normal. As I told you, 73% of the population, they are afraid of public speaking. Okay, we don't have magic pills for that, but we have ways by which we can improve our presentation skills or our public speaking. We are going to see that, but it's good to be afraid. It's good to have butterflies in your stomach. That's natural. Even the best public speaker, I don't know who you may regard as the best public speaker. It may be Barack Obama. It may be Shakil Mohammed. It depends, okay, who you regard as a very good public speaker. But every time this public speaker is going to get himself ready to speak, he has a few butterflies flying in his stomach. It's normal. This is what we call stress. And what's good about it is that we can use this energy, this stress, which is an energy, we can use that positively to help us in our presentation. How? Let's see. Okay, so we say that we don't have miracle pills, that there is one which we call PowerPoint stress reducers. Basically, we don't have it in hospitals. You can buy it from pharmacy. Okay, I'm just joking. Okay, so we don't have magic pills for getting to reduce your stress and so on. We have some natural things which you can do. We can do some preparation before to help you with managing your stress. Okay, one way is I've read a bit about stress management, but if you, for you, maybe you can just say stress. If you spell it backwards, it's just like desert. You're having desert. There's a few maybe authors who say, okay, as soon as you see your audience, just remember each and every one with funny faces. Okay, just try to put funny faces in these, on top of these people. There's another one, if you are in coaching, we say that we need to get into a specific mode. What is this mode? You need to remember maybe when you were confident, one moment in your life, one experience that you had in your life where you were confident, maybe speaking to your niece or kids, okay, that you have in your whereabouts, in your environment. You are maybe you are teaching them ABCD, the alphabet. So you are confident because you know the ABCD, hopefully. Okay, so you are confident when you're teaching that. So remember that, you can just, when you are stressed, you can just go back to this state, because that in state, then you are going to get into the state. Remember that we can, in coaching, you can actually get that. You can push your finger and so on. These are called trigger. We can trigger such emotions automatically. Okay, we can choose to be in this state, okay, through coaching, and then you get into the state, so you are confident, then bang, you start your presentation, your speech. This is, I'm just giving you a few tips, but we have much more for that. Practice in front of a mirror. Tu vois, un miroir au côté de la case. Tu as petit dire miroir, miroir, ça n'a plus de lit. Okay, so you can practice your speech as well. You practice, you go around with your speech, you practice it in front of the mirror. Why? In the mirror, you are going to see how your body language is going to be maybe shown to the audience. You're going to, okay, I shouldn't be doing this like this. Maybe I need to focus here. I need to change my posture. Practice in front of the mirror. Very good. It may be maybe a bit silly, but maybe based on experience, I can tell you it's a very good thing to do. Okay, practice in front of the mirror. Then practice breathing technique. We are going to do that live together in a short while. Practicing breathing technique. There may be one, okay, we are going to do that. There may be different as well. If you are in yoga and so on, you can do different breathing techniques. This is going to help you manage your stress much better. Then rehearse in front of family and friends. Maybe when you're practicing in front of the mirror, you're alone. Maybe the first time you're practicing, first, second, third time you're practicing, practice in front of the mirror. Find the different flows and try to fine-tune your presentation or your public speaking. Then, when you're slightly more confident, practice in front of friends, in front of families, and in front of your pet. Ok, nanti tutu que zot, c'est car practice before the tutu. Se trouver une vie avec zot, une child, that connaît bien improve a lot. Okay, I'm just joking, but whatever you have, practice in front. It's all about practicing, practicing, practicing. And nowadays, the fourth one is record yourself and maybe practice. Okay, and play back. So record yourself and then play back. You can even TikTok it nowadays. If you want to TikTok part of it, c'est not trop beaucoup facilité. Just record yourself, play back. You have the TikTok ring and so on. You can hold your mobile phone. You have so many technologies nowadays which can help you to record yourself and then play back. Record, playback, improve. Okay, it's just a cycle. Record, playback, improve. You see what are your flows. I wanted to be more impacting at that point, but I did not see this impact. So you do it again. Try, just like in a film. Remember, even Shah Rukh Khan, Salman Khan, I don't know which Khan you know. Okay, they have at times takes. Okay, we start the shooting, which goes only once, twice, but there are takes which goes 10, 15, 20 times. So they are professional actors and they don't get it right at the first time. They know the scripts, they have been practicing the scripts, the dance patterns, they learn it by heart, but then when they come on to where they need to film for the movie, they need to have different takes as well. They're not satisfied. I wanted to do it like this and so on. So they have to have different takes. So who are we? We are just like, not amateur, but we are in the learning process. Okay, so we can make mistakes and we can learn, but we need to be able to identify these mistakes. Okay, so for the time being, let's do at least one. The other one are quite straightforward. How about the breathing technique? We call that the 4-7-8 breathing technique. What is it all about? So we go with this together. Okay, you need to do that at home. You're just sitting down. Inhale for a count of 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Just inhale. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then hold for a count of 7. Hold this air that you have in your lungs, in your body for 7. Let's call that seconds, or you're just counting 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then exhale slowly for a count of 8. That is, breathe out slowly. Remember, inhale was 4, so it's quite rapid. You hold it, then you exhale slowly, like twice the amount of time you took to inhale. So it's 4, 7, 8. Then you need to repeat that 4 times. So anytime you are having stress, use this technique and just give me feedback whether it's working for you or not. Okay, that's it. The breathing technique for you to practice. Now let's talk about, this was about the stress part. Now we said we need, in terms of speech, we need to be able to know the structure. We talk about the main objectives, the main goal, the main message that we wanted to pass on, okay, to our audience. Now let's see how we are going to pass this message. Number 1, you need to tell them, you need to tell your audience. Number 2, you need to tell your audience. And number 3, you need to tell your audience. So 1, 2, and 3, you need to tell your audience, but what? So number 1, tell them what you are going to tell them. This is the introduction part. You need to tell them what you are going to tell them. So introduction, we have different ways by which we can start. We need to start with a bang, atomic bomb. Okay, so we may be having like a startling statement, a question, attention grabber, Curiosity. Do you still remember how we started this presentation? Anyone? We asked a question on what is the number one fear in the world. This is how we started it. So people started to, okay, for me it's 4, for me it's 3. So people are participating in your speech right from the beginning, or your presentation right from the beginning. So we have different ways. We are going to show you how we can start that. So introduction, be heavy, okay, or children rude. Tell them what you're going to tell them. You have so many ways. It can be statistics, okay, like maybe 10% of our population are struck with COVID-19. Then you stop. This is a statement. You have a statistic, and statistic poignant. OK? Par contre, statistique, là, c'est juste try out. Pas de marquing après. OK? It may be like 97% of our students have failed. You start your presentation like that. OK? So you have grabbed their attention. Now, number 2, you tell them, you develop your points. You may be having 3 points. Then you start developing your points one by one. Then you have the conclusion part, where tells them what you have just told them. It is like a conclusion, a summary of what you have. You're not going to repeat all 3 points. Maybe you can stick to the main. Remember our main idea, our main point, that our main message that we had to do to pass on. We come back to that, we highlight it, we underline that, and then we say, go home with that. Okay, it may be a statement, it may be a quote. It should be powerful enough so that this is what's going to remain to the mind of people when presentation. Okay, so tell them. Now, talk about the introduction. Should be powerful. Let me mute a few people. Please mute yourself. Okay, I think I'm mute someone. I'm hearing a few more. Mute yourself, people. Okay, I think should be okay. So remember, we said that we need to have a striking atomic bomb, okay? Maybe introduction. Then you need to have another powerful, okay, or interesting conclusion for people to take home. So we call that the introduction and the conclusion. In between, what do we need? We need to have a body to tie these together. So introduction is going to be poignant. Conclusion is going to be powerful. And then in between, we need to look for a body which are going to tie that as close as possible, the body. Okay, you may be having 1 point, 2 points, 3 points, okay, depending on the length of your presentation. Then you need to tie that as tight, like as hard as possible. It should be like as we said at the beginning, it should be a flow, okay, in between the introduction and the conclusion. Let's see. Now, practice the pitch instead of trying to memorize your speech. I was like maybe some of you when I was at the university. When I crée mon speech, là, des papiers, il y a moi pour lire, là, moi poser au papier, moi poser la table, moi rappelle moi. I'm going to remember a few points, but just for the sake, moi mettre un papier là. Ultimately, what happened? If I've learned it by heart, as soon as I miss one word, blackout. Okay, so we're going to start some technique, or I'm going to read, I'm going to put the paper maybe in front of me on a deck. Then if I'm maybe lost, I'm going to just check. But when you're going to check, you don't know where you're going to check. You don't know what point you have reached. This is going to create like a break in your speech, and it may create blackout as well. So instead of memorizing a speech, the best practice is to pitch it. You know the different points, you just pitch it. You know your terms. You can write different sentences in your mind. You just throw it out to the public. You're going to see that words that you are going to use is not so important later on. Okay, so you can write what you call short notes, okay, or you can just maybe put it on some paper, but this is maybe at the beginning when you're starting in terms of public speaking or presentation, but then you can gather so much of confidence later on to be able to know your topics. It may happen that you forget one point, okay, then in the conclusion you say, oh, I think I forgot that. No, don't do that. No one knows that you missed that point, only you. Just like you're stressed, when you're stressed, no one will know that you are stressed. Fake it till you make it. Okay, don't appear to be stressed. Don't maybe you are going to see in terms of body language, playing with your fingers, If you're a girl, you're going to play with your hair, with your earring, things like that. If you're having a pen in your hand, katak, 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 and so on. So these are going to demonstrate that you are stressed. So try to avoid these things. So you can have some short notes with you, maybe for the beginning, or if you're having like a bigger, maybe 1 hour presentation, you don't have maybe presentation aid. Remember, we are going to discuss about presentation aid. What is it all about? It's going to help you remember what you're going to talk about. As if you don't know, you don't have any presentation aid, you can have what we call a mind map. So if I need to have a presentation on transportation, I'm not going to write. So we have 3 main types of transportation. One is land, one is on water, one is in the air. Okay, so you can put it in terms of how you mind perceives transportation. Okay, so it's diagrammic. Okay, you can have diagram for that. You have maybe, you can have different drawings. So the technique is called mind mapping. However your mind thinks, you put it on paper. Then you can put it in front of you on an A3 paper, on an A4 paper. Then you just pick up the topic. Today I'm going to talk on transportation. You just have a look. We have 3 types. It's land, water, and air. Now let's first discuss about land. So we have different, let's start with motorcycle. You're not going to have a look at your paper now. You're going to talk about motorcycles. There are some motorcycles which have 2 wheels, some has 3 wheels, and then you speak what you need to do. Then you move on to bus. Then you move on to trolley. So it's going to give you like hints on where you need to go. And then if you forget part of it, don't worry, no one is going to know about what you had to discuss. Okay, so you can have short notes, or like an augmented layer, an improved layer is what we call mind mapping, which you can use. But ultimately, you need to be able to deliver your speech, maybe not by heart, as I said, maybe to pitch it. Remember what you need to discuss, and then you just throw the speech to the people. Just like me, I have my notes, but not my notes, but my slide here. They are just ways for me to know the flow, what I need to tell you next. Then if I do this presentation a second time, it's going to be different. The ideas may be the same. The stories which I'm going to tell you may be different. The way I'm going to tell it's going to be different. The verbs I'm going to use, the sentences I'm going to use are going to be different. Okay. Now, important thing for you is about the storytelling. So important for nowadays. Okay. The best of the best. You can pick it up from Barack Obama, not from Donald Trump. Okay, let's take it from Barack Obama, from all those very good speakers which we have seen deliver speeches, like famous speeches. Okay, so they use storytelling. So what is storytelling? You include a small story in your speech. Remember, I told you I was a shy guy at the beginning. This is some part of story. We are going to get different stories. If you view the video again, I have included stories, different stories from here and there in the presentation. So why? Because people are 20 times more likely to remember a fact when it has been wrapped in a story. Okay, a fact. So what is a fact? It may be statistic. Okay, facts tell stories, and that is only 5% remember statistic. If I just tell you a statistic, like 24% of people suffer from diabetes, 25% of population suffer from maybe addiction to cigarette and so on, you're not going to remember that. Right now, if I tell you what percentage did I tell you already forgot. But then if I put it in terms of a story, I have a slide which is going to show that to you later on. If I put it in terms of a story, in terms of an idea, you are going to remember that without any maybe effort, much easier. Okay, so people tend to remember statistics, only 5% are going to remember statistics. 63% are going to remember stories. Okay, we are all kids. We are grown up, yes, but in a body of an adult, but we are basically kids. We love stories. Okay. And let's proceed now. So we have had a look at preparation. We have just discussed about the speech, how to manage stress. Okay. Now let's move on toward the visual aids, the PowerPoint, the logistics that you will need. Know your logistics well. Okay. If you're going to use a mic, maybe come beforehand. If your presentation starts at 9, come at 8. test your mic, how to use your mic, how to hold your mic. Okay, just test it in the venue. Remember, we said you need to know where your venue is going to be. Will you be needing a mic? Okay, depending on how many people are there going to be in the hall. And if you're using, is it going to be like a headset? Is it going to be one which you're going to hold? Is it going one where you need to, it's going to be behind a lantern, a lectern, not lantern, but a lectern. So how is the setup going to be? Don't hold the mic as our friend here. Okay, so be aware, be used, start getting used to how to switch on the mic or off. So come earlier to be able to test your logistic. We have another logistic which we use a lot of time, which is about the pointer, the laser pointer, that we put in the face of people and so on. Okay, at times we get so excited in our presentation. We are going to present here, then we don't click out. The click is still on and we turn it towards our audience. It's just like they're targeting us or targeting them with a rifle. Okay, so be careful or it may get into the eyes of people. So you're going to do is going to cause some confusion with the audience. So know your logistics well. Okay, know the PowerPoint, know the maybe the projector that you're going to use, the cabling and so on. And for that, you can't be there 5 minutes before. You need to be there. Maybe even though you are maybe the 5th or the 10th speaker of the day, come at 7, 1 hour before to be able to test each and everything. Okay, you can even test your colors on how the presentation is appearing on the presenter. At times you have different types of background. At times you have screen. Okay, at times you just have the wall, which are different colors, and at times your font are not appearing, and you can have some minor changes to your presentation. Okay, now let's come to the what we call the PowerPoint. Okay, in terms of logistics, we have just discussed 102. We discussed about that early on, but the aids, the visual aids. Okay, remember they are called aids. They are going to help you. We are going to have a look at different generation of presentation, of PowerPoint presentation. What I'm showing you right now is generation 1. Okay, see how it is a bulky slide. So people are going to read your slide. So the idea is not for people to read your slides. The idea is it's going to be like a visual. When you see it, you just check, so you know what to speak about it. This is the idea. This is for you to be able to know what to speak, what to tell your audience, not for your audience to read. You are going to be the main part. You are, as an individual, you're going to be Shah Rukh Khan, you're going to be maybe Katrina Kaif and so on for this day, for this 10 minutes, 30 minutes that they're giving you for speaking. You are going to be this maybe person of your choice. So this is what we call a very bad way of presenting your maybe slide, your content. Okay, this was like acceptable. Okay, so maybe 15 years back. This was maybe top of the category 15 years back. You have been able to put a clipboard on the slide. Okay, this is it was an added skill at that point in time, but nowadays it doesn't work that way. Okay, same amount of information. We move on to generation 2. Now we have what we call word art. Getting in, you can change colors as well. So you can make different gimmicks. This was a generation 2. Again, same amount of information as the previous slide, but still, okay, like 10, 12 years back, this was like the top category, okay, in terms of presentation. Like I call that generation 2. Next, what we have maybe 1 year back, let's call that 1 year back, we were using generation 3. I still use lots of generation 3. Let's see, the same amount of information, I use infographics. Okay, the presentation is going to be different. So we have competency assessment. So these are the slides which I use, I pick up from other presentation which I do. Is just don't worry about the content of it, just have a look at how the presentation, how the techniques are being shown. Okay, we just show it inside of a pyramid. Okay, at a click, we just gives a different idea. So I'm going to discuss on nose. In terms of competency assessment, I click, I discuss on nose. Then know-how, I just click, it appears, I discuss. Shows, then it does. So it's like appearing at a click, and you, the audience, is still following you. They're not reading your slides. They're not going to read nose. So nose is K-N-O. No, they're not going to spell it out for you. They just see, okay, it's nose. Then what are you going to speak about for nose? Okay. Remember, in generation 1, you had all the definition for nose. What does nose means? So they're going to read your slide, and you're going to lose your credibility as a speaker. Then what is meant by novice, starting, or expert level? You can explain that. This is at different clicks as well. This was generation 3. It is still widely used, acceptable nowadays. But for me, okay, I have decided to move to generation 4. For me, it's still 3B. Let's call that 4. But let me show you how it's going to be like. So competency assessment, you can still use the infographics, but then include pictures. It may be pictures of you. I don't know if you have realized in some of my slides, I've used a few pictures of me. Remember Lincoln? I was clicking a picture with Lincoln, the statue of Lincoln, maybe in slide number 4, things like that. So you as well. Now this is me sometime back, maybe 16, 17 years back. Okay. And it was about competency. So how a novice in engineering, how you need to assess them. This is a competency assessment we are discussing. So I'm just included maybe one picture when I join in the organization to be able to assess. Okay. So it's going to give value to your presentation. Okay. It's not going to be like copy paste or things like that. So introduce yourself in the presentation itself. Use your own picture. Actually, I captured this idea from Kevin Gaskell, who came to Mauritius, I think 2 years back, and from Robin Sharma as well. I don't know if they're using that intentionally, but I think that it creates a connection with the audience when you put your own pictures and so on on the slide. You have the infographics, yes, but don't put it, it needs to be relevant to what you're giving. Okay, and then it should not be repeated all through the presentation. At one point, we are going to see the attention level, how to just pick up the attention level. Okay, give a boost to the attention level, just introduce a picture of you in the slide, but it needs to be relevant. Okay, this is an example what I've used. Remember how I tell stories, how I introduce stories. This is a slide which I use when I teach quality management to my MSc student. So quality tools and technique, we have one which we call a control chart. So we are analyzing data. Okay. So for them to be the idea here, so I'm just going to read it. It states that, I think I need to mute someone here. I don't know who it is. If possible, you can mute yourself. Okay. So it states that if 7 data points in a row are all below the mean, so it depends if you have a mean, the center line. If you're having 7 data points on top of this line, or that is consecutive, or 7 points below this line, then you know that there's a problem of quality. But how will student remember 7? So I put the 7 dwarf. Okay, Cendrillon, so la belle barne qui comic ça anyway. Okay, so I put the 7 dwarf in it. So I'm going to tell them why I have included that. Okay, just like what I've done with you, I've just asked you a question. Cendrillon, comment appelle là? Robin des Bois, ou sans parler là. So in which cartoon does that appear? They're going to tell me, the students are going to tell me. And then this is going to be the story of this slide. They're going to remember, yes, tu as cette là-dedans, on va dire 7 samples when they are above the center line or below the center line. They're never going to forget that in their life. Okay, they may forget the name of their wife, but they won't forget this slide. Okay. Another example, okay, which I use maybe when this is the first class, when I need to choose a class captain or class representative, I click a picture with Captain America. So we need a class captain. I'm going to say, I need your phone number, a group email address of the class. If we are using Blackboard at some universities, so Blackboard access, okay. How are you going to access the Blackboard? And then if you have a WhatsApp group, or we create a WhatsApp group if they don't have one. So this is a slide. I just put a captain there. I just maybe boost up their attention. Okay. Another example which I've used, this one is, this is not me in the picture. Actually, this is, I categorize it as generation 3. Okay. You can put different things like that, and one statistics on one part, and then you can put it is still bullet point, but then they're going to appear on different clicks. Okay, lots of information, but the way you present that one by one, people won't be reading, just maybe forgetting about what you're speaking. They're just going to read through the slide. No, you choose when to put the point forward. Okay, I categorize this one as maybe generation 3. Okay, law of pain. When I teach leadership, law of pain, and the example which I've taken with Hulk. Okay, my good friend Hulk. So good management of bad experiences lead to growth. So I'm just going to give an example. I have a story which I'll share on that point in time. You have a pencil which breaks. Actually, you can turn that into your advantage. You can have 2 pencils now, and you have 3 ways by which you can write. So how you manage. So I bring in the story. I bring in my picture. So it's going to be like a live. So people are interacting. They are not dozing off as such. They are interacting with you. They are live in your presentation. This is a bad example. Okay, technical information is hard enough to digest. Remember, we talk about jargons. Okay, it's so hard that people can't. This is your work. You have work, maybe your final year project, you have spent 6 months to 8 months trying to figure this out. This is your main result, but no one is going to understand. Maybe only your lecturer or 5 people in the audience are going to understand this chart. You're not speaking only for these 5 persons, you're speaking for the whole audience. So you need to make it in simple terms for people to be able to digest this hard information. So avoid hard technical information, too much of technical, too much of jargons. Try to avoid that. Make it as simple as possible for the big audience. Okay. In terms of colors nowadays, this is like a palette of interesting colors which you can use. Okay, you can just pick out from there, and you can have so many as well. I just need to tell you that it's important. The colors that you're going to use are going to be so important because our eyesight is captivated. They are more attracted to several colors and the color palette as well. Create this maybe contrast. Okay, and to create this emphasis, you need to be able to choose appropriate colors. For this presentation, this PowerPoint, I have spent maybe 20 plus hours just to prepare this presentation. I had part of the content, I revamped it as I told you. So it has taken me maybe 3 or more days just to build this presentation and to make it as it is now. I don't know if you're liking it, if you see the slide are good, but I've spent so much time, and I told you if 3 months down the line, I need to do this presentation again, I'm going to go through it again. There will be changes. I'm pretty sure about that. Be careful about your font. It's not a place to showcase all your different fonts that you have on your laptop also. So you need to be able to be consistent. The size should be not too large, not too small. Okay, you need to be able to demonstrate that, okay, this is a main point, this is maybe a sub point. And then so it's consistent use of size and style. I've used only one font style, that is font, in this whole presentation. Okay, now you have graphics. I told you graphics are important for you to use. Go away from what you have currently in PowerPoint, Microsoft PowerPoint. You can have these types of graphics. That's what we call infographics. It appears more appealing to people when they're going through a presentation. You can create the animations as well. Not too much of animation, rotating here and there like dancing and so on. Okay, try to put it clear. Just at a click, it appears. You may put a small effect on the appearance and so on, but then you can use these different topics, like not topics, but infographics. These are going to help you as well create like powerful what we call slide. Okay, here, so some of you actually I buy a few, okay, but I'm giving you like 2 websites where you can get these for free as well. Not all, okay, but you can get very good maybe infographics or template of presentation. You can get these free from these 2 websites. Okay, now the attention curve. Basically, you remember we started with a high impetus at the beginning, maybe with a statistic, with something which is going to rock the whole, and then people are going to do it. If you don't do anything about that, the attention of people are going to go down, and some may even doze off after 10 minutes. So it said that 10 minutes is where people are already disconnected if you have not done anything to hold their attention in place. How we can do that? So we have over a presentation. Okay, hi at the beginning, remember, introduction, powerful, and then you have a very good takeaway. You're going to put them a powerful quote, okay, that you have got from the internet. Then they may go home. But what's happening in the middle? People are chatting. Some people are checking what they're going to eat for dinner. Okay, whether what I don't know what is the time, how many checking on Facebook. So different things that people are going to do. You're going to lose your audience. What we need to do, our aim is at different times, we are going to give them different boosts. Okay, nous rétrograder du coup, passe à l'au troisième, boom, nous remonte. Give them a boost. It can be in terms of questions, you ask the question, or you can pinpoint. At times, if I see my student maybe starting to doze off, maybe didn't get football here, I'm going to put a question to him. Okay, it may be a rhetoric question as well. We are going to see what is rhetoric, but then I'm going to pick him out and I'm going to arouse each and every one. Use pictures. Okay, we have talked about infographics, but how about vivid pictures? It is said, the statistics say that people remember 95% of what they hear and see. Here, yes, I'm talking, you are hearing, but if they see it as well, okay, if they can relate to the picture, they are going to remember 95%. This is a very good figure for people. So like a presentation to be striking, people have been able to understand, to remember 95% of what you just said. That's fantastic. Remember that we are supposed to be very good at memory, but can you tell me what you ate for dinner 3 days back? You had 30 minutes to eat your dinner at that day, but I'm pretty sure that you have forgotten what you ate 3 days back for dinner. Okay, so we are good at short-term memory, but then when it comes to medium-term and so on, we try to forget. But pictures, remember, first one we mentioned about stories. We said infographics. Now we are saying pictures are going to help you. So where can you find high-quality pictures? Not just like we have Mona Lisa here. Okay, look for high-quality pictures. I've been giving you like a few links where you can have all these for free. You can even buy. There are some websites where you need to buy, but on these websites you can have you don't have copyright on that. It's free share for you to use. Yeah. Next part. So let me just check the time. We are on time. We have I think we started at, yeah, we are on time, most probably. Okay. And let's have a look at number 4. We are already at number 4, which is about delivery. Okay. Everyone likes delivery. When you have orders, pizza, you want it to be hot when it gets to you. When you order something from Amazon or from AliExpress or Alibaba, I don't know where you order, okay, you want it delivered as soon as possible and in a correct packaging and in the best of what you expected. Again, this is the same for your delivery of your speech. People are expecting a very good speech. You as well, you have practiced. Remember, you have prepared. You have made a very good speech preparation, the anatomy of speech. You have good presentation skills. Now is the most important part. You need to deliver. Show them what you have prepared for them. Okay, here we are going to have a look at body language and then the VAPER approach. Let's start. You are going to be SRK or what's her name? I forgot her name, this lady. Okay, I think she's the buzz of the moment. Okay. Okay, thank you for that. Okay, so, and I forgot what I had to say. Okay, I was just remembering her dance. So for the 10 minutes that you are given to your presentation, 20 minutes that you are given for your presentation, it may be 30 minutes, 1 hour, you are going to be SRK or Nura Fatili, I think, on the stage. People are going to look at you. It's your time to shine. Okay, par exemple, vous devez faire, Gajmi, par exemple, etc. Pas peut-être danser là-bas. At least you need to present yourself. You need to act, okay, as it should be. Pas besoin de faire un grand essai, etc. But you are going to see some of the different, maybe, things that needs to be done and what need not be done. A dress code, so important, how you present yourself to the people. It depends, okay, but basically avoid casual. Any presentation that unless you are presenting to your friends, okay, it's not going to be mock also, avoid casual. Smart casual, jeans, I wouldn't advise. Business casual, polo shirt, okay. But business, I will say yes. Business formal, maybe for regular presentation. Okay, final year presentation, I won't go for business casual with satin sous en dollar, etc. Gilet en dollar. Maybe without the gilet, with a coat, I would say yes. So for me, for a presentation that you are giving at university or maybe to your company, business would be fine. If maybe it's going for an interview, maybe business formal without the gilet. That would be fine with me. So pretty okay for guys, okay, not so much complicated. So it comes complicated when we need to deal with ladies, okay? Everything appears to be good for them, okay? But casual, it may not be good with these types of shoes, okay? Smart casual, it may go well with them, but avoid jeans. Business casual works well, business works. So, okay, business, I'm hearing a few notes.
Oui.
Okay, can you please mute yourself, etc. Okay, so business formal, business casual works for me. Okay, it appears to be acceptable when you're going for a presentation. On the right-hand picture, casual, maybe depends on the girl as well. Smart casual looks good. Business casual, not bad. Business professional, all looks good. Okay, unless I have a longer presentation where I can share videos with you about what's good for a presentation. What is the bag, even the bag that you're going to bring with you. Faut pas un sac bazar. Okay, faut pas colorful. The necklace that you can add necklace, you can add earrings and so on if you're used to that. Si je parle de mezzano, parle de mezzano, li pou penzo de là. Okay, so be natural. Okay, one more thing, important part of this slide, high heels. Okay, I have witnessed that when you need to go for a presentation, you're going to wear high heels. Maybe you're used to tennis. So why venture in wearing high heels if you're not used? It may be your first day wearing this type of shoes and you're just there and you need to walk on the stage. You will need to walk. It's going to be difficult. I've seen people who actually trip and fall down on the D-Day on stage. So be careful. If you are comfortable with maybe flat shoes, wear it. Okay, don't bother about wearing high heels if you're not used. So what I'm telling you that you need to be comfortable. Okay, as well in the clothes that you're going to wear, don't wear it on the D-Day itself. Try it maybe 1 week before. Just check, walk with it at home and so on. Just check if everything fits, and then you can just be comfortable with that when you're going to do your presentation. So as I told you, you can have different maybe things which you can add, maybe necklaces, maybe earrings, but don't, par contre, tout batana, nani, mettre de la main droite, gauche, kachang, kachang, pour faire, la musique, etc. So be careful, okay? Don't over-exaggerate, but be yourself, be natural, be neutral in your approach. Okay, now, what's your hook? How would you capture your audience attention? Remember, now you know about how the curve is going to be like. You start, we know that we need to start with something hard, then your attention is going to go down. But how can you hook your audience at the different stages of your presentation? Let's have a look. Let's start with the beginning itself. Statistics. So we are the first, so you can practice what you're going to do. You can learn this part by heart. So it's what we call the icebreaker. You are entering the stage, or this is your first slide, you need to capture your audience. At times, if you're the 10th, maybe the last presenter of the day, ban jury len finit face que une place begin, face une toilette, une tout là. But then come with a statistic fact. Okay, casse la baraque. This is going to the cas de sommeil qui n'arrive là. Okay, so give a statistics, maybe 95% of our students have failed. Then you say, I'm just joking. So it can be like that. It can be funny. It can be use of humor, anything. You maybe use a quote. Okay, maybe, what quote can I just remember? Leadership is influence. Nothing more, nothing less. Okay, you may see that I put emphasis on influence. I put a pause. Nothing more, nothing less. So this is how you can put pleasure, put impact on a quote. Important poses, we're going to discuss about poses or words as well. Okay, it's not that I'm talking very rapidly today because I have like a very short span of time, because this presentation, I can run it over 3 hours. I'm trying to give you maximum. Okay, I'm just rushing a bit. Quote, you can use a joke as well. Joke, it's powerful, it works. But then don't joke on someone else. Don't joke on the jury. Don't joke on the audience. Joke on yourself. Okay, put a joke on yourself. If your name, you can joke on your name. You can joke on, how can I be so stupid to have said yes to this presentation? Okay, you can joke like this. Okay, people are going to laugh a bit. You can joke. If your name is a bit funny, maybe I'm a Sakji, maybe I will say, oh, maybe when they name my grandparent, they were thinking about sack, which is a bag. I don't know, maybe have a joke on yourself, but it should be relevant. I'm just picking up here and there, but it should be relevant to the speech that you're going to give, as well as statistics. Don't give a statistics on COVID while you're going to talk about Internet of Things. Okay, you should be giving a statistics based on Internet of Things. Okay, maybe in 5 years' time, it is reported that 95% of maybe equipment are going to be connected to the Internet of Things. Okay, it's quite long. You can maybe make it shorter to have more impact. So this is what I'm trying to tell you. Next is rhetoric question, which can be, how can I be so stupid? Can a fish actually swim? So these are questions where you don't expect people to give you an answer. It's just throwing the question at the audience. Okay. Question plus a, let me just check this one. Show of hands. So anyone actually is married here? You're asking the audience, you are married, you're going to raise your hand. And actually you should be asking a question where you as well, you are going to say yes, because you are going to show your hand, you're going to raise your hand, and people who are married are going to raise their hand. So this is going to show them the need. You are not going to count how many people are married. Just a question is just going to keep the audience live participating in your presentation or speech. Okay, and story. So if you are maybe the last presenter, you can even say, who is bored in this audience right now? Okay, maybe a lot of people, they have been bored the whole day, they are going to raise their hand. Then you're going to say, I'm going to change that. Okay, then say, oh, he's going to change, we're not going to be bored. And so this is going to trickle them. As I told you, it can be a story. 9 years back, I met with an accident. Okay, you start your story. You're going to talk about road accident, but you start with your own story. 9 years back, I met with a road accident. Then you start. Okay, you can, this is a few ideas which I'm just picking up from here and there. You can start with silence. There are some humorists, they can just come on stage and then they have a look at the audience. But you need to be very maybe confident for that. Okay, silence, or you can just ask a question and then remain silent. You can just come on the stage, remain silent, have a look at the audience, and appear funny. People are going to laugh. It may be a way. It depends on the audience. It depends on where you are doing your presentation. Imagine if everyone, imagine if everyone had 1 million rupees credited by the MOA right now in their account. Imagine, just imagine, put them in the mood. Okay, using a prompt, it can be, if you're going to talk about cigarette, maybe you can bring a cigarette maybe in your hand, or a packet of cigarette in your hand. This is your prompt. Then you say cigarette is bad for the health. You just break it into 2 parts, you throw it, or you put it on a table next to you. Okay, use a prompt. If you're going to talk about football, okay, bring a ball. Okay, football with you. These are a few ideas how you can start your presentation with a bang. Okay, remember, you're not here to impress. You're not here to make but you're here to express. You're here to talk, to speak. You're not here to impress people. You're here to give out your ideas, to present your idea. But then impress by expressing. By expressing yourself correctly, you can impress you. You're not here to impress. You're not here to tap, etc. But you're here to express yourself. Okay, remain humble. But then make it so good that people are impressed by your humility, by what you're presenting, the way you have decided to run the show. People are impressed. Okay. Now a short quiz for you. We have words, body language, and tone. All these form part of the communication system. okay, of public speaking. Now let's try to match what will be the percentage for words, maybe body language and tone. Maybe for the sake of our discussion, we can just use the chat button. Which one is going to have the highest percentage? Is it going to be words, body language, or tone in public speaking? So I have one. Body language is 55. Someone, or I think two people have said body language is 55. Wow. Body language again. Oh my God. Tone is nice. 55. That's good. Tone, words, very good. Tone, very good. Tone, very good. Body language. So we have a mix of answers. That's very good. Let's have a look at, actually, there was one professor. His name, Professor Albert Mahrabian. Okay, he did a study on this topic itself. Okay, quite some time back. Okay, I was not born at that time. So he described this communication model. He said that there are three limbs to a good communication model. Okay, so he said that what his research showed that 7% of the meaning, what we are speaking about, comes from words. At times we say that I need not to make any mistake. I said, they is singing. It is bad in English. It's not proper to do that, but people are not going to focus too much on it. Only represents 7% of your communication. Okay, it's grammatically incorrect. English-wise, it is incorrect. But then people are not going to be, whether I bought two bread. You do not say I bought two breads. Okay, it maybe with the flow, people are not going to see these minute unless it happens in every sentences. Okay, par exemple, maintenant, on parle de la télévision, okay, a lot of grammatical mistake when they speak. But then if you, maybe in a speech, you have one or two slip of the tongue, it is okay. Don't worry, no one is perfect. Okay, so 7% actually come from the words. Next, let's have a look. 38% comes from the way these words are being uttered. That is a tone. This is what we call the tone. Okay, and l'exemple rapide. Madame, ok, demain soir, mon père de bowling, comme un camarade, mon pou, vient un petit peu tard, mon vient vers 11h du soir pour là. Et bien, ah bien, allez. Qui n'y a moi là? Basically, n'y a moi, allez. What is a tone meaning? See the words said, allez, go. But what is the tone behind? Ah bien, allez. What is the tone behind? Tone behind just you allez, diffelo, penapole. So the words is speaking in one direction, the tone is going in the reverse direction. Okay, so the tone as well is going to convey lots of information. Okay, now the big chunk is about the body language, the facial expression. 55% comes from body language. I don't know about you, but I do watch Marathi, Telugu films at times, even Chinese films. I don't understand a word from Chinese or Telugu and so on. At times there may be transliteration, things like that, translation at the bottom of the screen. But then I watch because I'm seeing the body movement. Okay, what's happening? Because the pied, etc. I'm understanding. Okay, it is clear the way he's looking at the girl, we can know that something is happening. Okay, so facial expression conveys 55% of communication. 55% of communication is body language, 38% is tonality, 7% only is words. Actually, we are afraid, we are anxious about the words we are going to use. Okay, we can at times we may be having like blanks, maybe having blackout, but we can, with practice, this can be eliminated. Okay, we need to work more on body language and our tonality. Okay, let's move forward. So let's talk a bit about body language. Okay, posture. What is posture? What is meant by posture? How you are standing. Okay, how your hands is going to look like. So maybe you have an open posture. Open posture that you're not holding your. Let me just move this one a bit. You're not having your hands crossed on you, or your hands in your pocket. What have you so valuable in your pocket to be having your hands in your pocket? Okay, so pocket, your hands in pocket is not advisable. Having your arms in front, this is a closed posture. Actually, we have two minds. We have the the main mind, our main mind, which is actively thinking and we are help us in our decision making. And then we have a subconscious mind, okay, which is working as well in the background. It is responsible for so many things, our behavior based on experience and so on. If you have learned how to drive, okay, you're driving consciously at the beginning. Etc. So you're driving consciously. So you are consciously driving. Then after 5-6 ans, and la mélo la porte, and la mélo levier vitesse, qu'il arrive là. Nous appelons qui vitesse mettez. It is subconscious driving. Similarly, body language as well, it conveys subconscious information. When someone is seeing you with your arm crossed on your chest and you're trying to speak, this is a closing posture. People are not going to be connected with you easily. Okay, so you need to be showing your palm basically. Okay, not like this, but palm, you need to practice. This is about practicing. Okay, your hands movement, okay, your hands movement should be maybe with your explanation. If you're going to, I'm going to tell you 3 secrets. Okay, your fingers are pointing to 3. What I use with my students, basically, I tell them, I'm going to tell you 3 secrets. Intentionally, je dis, parce que mon cas de sommeil, et bien, j'ai 3-4 sur les doigts, au final, mais confusé, j'ai 4, mais OK, I know that you are following. Okay, this you can use in a lecturing environment, in a training environment, not in a presentation environment. Okay, the question you need to, if you're saying 3, you need to show 3. This was a big, maybe a small box, and then it was a big box. So you can use your hand, you are giving additional information about the size. You're not going to say it was 15 millimeter box. This one was 45.6 millimeters. So you are just showing the magnitude with your hand. So you are giving additional information with your body. You need to be maybe use of space. Okay, if you're on a stage, you need not remain maybe at the center of the stage. Okay, you need to be moving. You need to be giving maybe attention to those on the right. Okay, maybe attention to those on the left, but it's not like moving by contrôler dans bis. Etc. You need to be moving for a purpose. Okay, maybe I'm going to tell you several advantages, 1, 2, 3. Then we have disadvantages. You move to the other side of the audience. I'm going to tell you the disadvantages as well. Then you come back to the center. You continue with your presentation. Use of fingers. I told you maybe 3. Eye contact. Okay. Actually, your speech, just me tell you a secret. Your speech is not written on the ceiling. No need for you to have a look at the ceiling. Okay, it is not written on the floor as well. Okay, so actually when you're maybe glaring at the ceiling or the floor, it is giving, remember our subconscious, the subconscious of your audience, they will know that you are stressed. Okay, look at your audience. Remember, medban figure pomme d'amour, carotte, pomme d'amour, disroupi la livre, l'oban du monde qui fatigue cette là, medban figure pomme d'amour, medban ça funny, l'oban du monde là. Try to, don't parler de là comme si tu peux stresser, faire comme si tu peux enjoy the audience, to begin rire aux autres, c'est bon, ok, pas make fun of it, but at least enjoy the movement. And then the eye contact should not focusing on ansel du monde. Si un jury, don't focus on the jury as well. In l'audience, ben là, si intéressé que tout, ok, be like a wiper. Pas faire ping-pong, pas faire comme ça, ok? You should be, ben, observe l'audience, pas faire wiper, pas faire ping-pong, zoom, but like a small wiper. Okay, you wipe from left to right, you pick and choose and so on. Okay, this is what you can do. Do not fidget, pas move dans place, and c'est le coup, ça bouger comme si the big galaxité. Okay, try. So I'm telling you, but it comes with practice. You need to have a go at it. Practice in front of the mirror, practice in front of friends, practice. Record yourself as well. Okay. So we talk about arms and hands. Your arm should be moving, explaining, using your arm for explaining. Okay. And eye contact, we talk about eye contact, use of space. That was good. Smile, it's free. And be friendly, show positive body language. Okay. As I told you, palm should be actually pointing toward the audience. Il y a cette histoire derrière, on va raconter cette histoire-là, how it came to our subconscious while when our palming like that, you went to prepare. Enfin, grâce à cette vie, on te va juste cacher le couteau dans cette lamance là. Quand ban jun pe approche par les rois, etc. Les rois payent parce qu'ils achètent un couteau là. Quand jun a pe vin comme ça, il y a peu difficile pour cacher le couteau pour ici. OK? Living ça vient lui montrer ça sur la main vide. It create this trust with your audience. OK? That should be fine. A few examples. You're using your hand to maybe emphasize a topic. And ça, c'est comme si du BTP lens, not good. And how about buttoning or unbuttoning your vest? Okay, be careful about that. If you're not too sure, we can discuss about grooming. It's another training in itself. Pas faire comme si on peut battre freaky closet. Okay, bad posture as well. And how to use your hand gesture. I think we discussed on that. We mentioned about the pointer, when to click, when to not click, pas mettre comme si peut fusiller avec un missile avec un rifle. Okay, je mets un pointer rouge au-dessus du monde de PC. So be careful, learn how to use that as well. Tone of voice, I mentioned about my wife example. It can be if you have used a piano, okay, if you have seen a piano, if you just touch one of the key, ting, you touch it for 1 hour or 10 minutes, ting, 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 ting. That's what we call monotone. So it is only one tone. People are after 3 touches, people are okay. So you need to change your tone. You need to make it amazing. People want to hear more of you. Okay, change your tone, vary your tone. Let's say you're playing the piano, instead of doing ting, 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 you say ting, 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 ting. So now people are interested. It's going to be like a music. People are okay. Let's listen to this guy. Okay, you have created interest. All throughout your presentation, you need to be changing your tone. Tone is so important. So vary your tone throughout the presentation. Emphasize key points. Remember, I said key points. This is an emphasis which I'm putting on certain words. Pause where appropriate. Pause are words which we need to include in our speech. Okay, at times for people to think, don't rush. There are COVID cases around. Pause. Let it drill down to the people. Now let's have a look at the VAPER approach. Okay, volume, when you need to speak loud. Okay, pitch, or what we mentioned about tone, is different from volume. At times you need to speak slowly. Actually, I'm a bit shy, so this is slowly. I'm not shy at all, so this is volume. I'm using volume to change the momentum of our speech. Articulation, okay, it will depend. Okay, we are not native speakers, so it's good. Actually, when I was learning about public speaking, I wanted to have like the BBC, maybe articulation and so on. But then when I went to the US for my certification for John Maxwell, actually people from all over the world, they were fascinated by my language of English. They said that it was like with a pinch of French, which we have. We are speakers for both English and French. It was like very beautiful. It's like magical. It was soft. Okay, remember the French, it's a bit difficult. Not any people around the world, they can pronounce French correctly, but we are blessed. We can go English and French. So it was like a piece of music. When I was speaking, they saw it as a piece of music. They were mesmerized. It's not like when speak English, it's quite hard. Okay, like American English is quite hard. It goes back to the maybe to the back of things. French is a bit like funny, but we are in between. We can use that to our advantage. So articulation is good to learn about how to pronounce words correctly. Okay, like one of the words which we at MSCI Maxwell Speakers Club, we request people to pronounce correctly. We use that properly frequently, which is opportunity. Okay, most people, they say opportunity. Basically, we should be speaking about opportunity. Okay, so you are going to learn, I'm learning. Okay, I'm learning it. Close, how do you pronounce close? Is it closers? Is it clothes? How do you pronounce? So we are working on that. Okay, we are not a perfect product. We are work in progress. So articulation is good. And how to learn how to articulate at times, it's a bit difficult. How you can practice that? Read a book aloud. Read loud. Okay, so today Paul went to the seaside. Oh, it's not seaside, seaside. Okay, you start articulating. It's practice, and more practice. Okay, pitch, we mentioned about the tone. Emphasis, how to put emphasis on a specific word. It may be by a raise of volume with a pitch and different ways. The rate of speaking, what is the speed you are speaking? A lot of people are dying nowadays. Okay, you can speak like, oh, a lot of people are dying nowadays. So you can, the rate of words, the amount of words you are speaking per minute, you can adapt that to your environment. Emphasis, that is, it's time to eat, children. So there's a comma, you need to emphasize on this comma. It's not like it's time to eat, children. This means that we are going to eat, children. First one was it's time to eat. So you're calling your children, it's time to eat, children. Okay, it's not it's time to eat, children. So know when to add emphasis. So I'm giving you an example. We have 7 words. Okay, I never said she stole my money. 7 words. If you emphasize each and every word at a time, it's going to change the whole meaning of the sentence. I never said she stole my money. So emphasis is on I. So meaning someone else said it. I never said she stole my money. I did not ever say that. So each word you're emphasizing is going to change the meaning of the sentence. So learn how to emphasize important words. Now, in terms of words, the content and words of the presentation should be as simple as possible. Avoid jargons, avoid complicated words that people don't know, people are not used to. You're going to lose your audience. You want to connect. The aim is to connect with your audience. It's not to push your audience back. You're not going to impress. I know so many words and so on. No, it's not like that. You need to remain humble as a public speaker. Explain it in so simple terms. As our friend, our Paradada said, if you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it well yourself. So if you're able to explain it in simple terms to your kids, to your students, to your colleagues, if you're not able, you have not been able to understand it properly. Okay, to a 5-year-old, basically, and Albert Einstein said, you need to be able to explain that to a 6-year-old or 5-year-old kid to show that you be able to understand that properly. Stay on time. Okay, let's say we are practically on time. Okay, so how to stay on time? If you're writing your speech, which I don't do, actually, I just write a few note poem. So I know I'm going to spend maybe 10 minutes here and there. But if you are a speaker who is going to write their speech, actually professional speakers, they have their script which they write. Okay, so a professional speaker, they're going to speak at a rate, WPM is word per minute. So this is an acronym, which is not good. So if someone is not used to that, they will know, what is WPM? Okay, maybe PM is afternoon. What is W? I don't know. So words, so it's going to be 145 to 160 words per minute for a professional speaker. For a casual speaker, you're speaking to your friend and so on, it's slower. So it's 110 to 150 words per minute. So where are you? Time yourself, and then you will be able to plan for your speech, how much you can maybe put. If you have 3 minutes, at times, if you're participating in a competition, if you say you have given 10 minutes, after 10 minutes, you are disqualified. Okay, or they're going to stop you. You were reaching your results. This is, you have been taking 6 months to prepare for this result, but you have lost so many times in your previous part of the speech that the most important part you have not been able to present to the audience. Okay, so that's a shame. Now, I think this is the last part, the postmortem. We have had a look at the preparation, the speech, the logistics, the PowerPoint, the delivery. Now, how about what's going to happen now? I've given my speech. I've seen a few people dozing off. People were checking their mobile phone. Some were already hard fast asleep. Some left the room. This is okay. We are not made perfect. Okay. This is where we are going to use feedback. We are going to progress. So it's a postmortem. Doki is going to help us. Our attitude should be an attitude of work in progress attitude. I'm not a perfect speaker, as I told you at the beginning. I'm learning my craft, and I'm going, as my mentor said, I'm going to die a student. Even though I'm dying in maybe 10 years, 20 years, 50, I'm going to still be learning about public speaking and different things as well. We are not a perfect individual. We are work in progress. We are practicing our art. We are checking this work well this time. This joke didn't work out because I see a funny, some people were maybe scared. Maybe some people didn't like the joke. I got hard. Maybe feedback on that. So I'm going to improve. Next time, I'm going to try something else. So by trying here and there, you're changing your approach. You're going to position yourself. You're going to see where you are actually in your public speaking. You have different types of public speakers. I'm a basically more slightly funny one. Okay, I share jokes, I joke on myself and so on, but there are some who are strict. They can't handle humor. But I would encourage you to try to handle humor. It's a good way of putting things. Maybe if you have an idea, an instruction to give, if you put it in you mix it with humor, the spices of humor is going to get in much easier. Ok, par exemple, un légume se va content manger, mettez un peu d'épices là-dedans, et on va y rentrer. Mettez un peu de sauce, bangé goût légume là, c'est un goût là, is going to work. So we have our friend here, little Teddy. Okay, his mother and his father. Little Teddy is trying to walk. Okay, premier jour, il commence à marcher. He falls down. Sur la tête, sur la lèvre, tape en bas. Ganchi, descend sur la lèvre. Son maman qui dit, this is the last day that you're going to walk. You're going to learn to walk. No need for you to walk again, Teddy. It's too dangerous for you. You hurt yourself. This is not good for you. Is this the way you're going to raise your child? Same for our public speaking. First time we did public speaking, oh my God, no one liked my presentation. It was the worst. It didn't work out. My clicker, my pointer didn't work out. The audience failed to appreciate what I had to share. So what? We learn from our mistake, we move forward. Same as little Teddy. We fall, got injured, but then we learn from our mistake. Next time, I'm going to do it better. This is the attitude which I want you to adopt. That is a growth attitude, an attitude of continuous growth, continuous learning. Be like Teddy. Okay, so idea is to practice, and then do it more. That is practice again. It's always about practicing. Even my mentor, he practices every day in terms of public speaking. John Maxwell, he practices, even though he's regarded as a best communicator, one of the best communicators in the world, he practices. He has this stress as well. But with time, I think he has given over 1,000 speeches. Remember, we are only maybe within 1 to 10, or I'm around 100 speeches or 200 speeches. He has gone to 1,000 speeches. Okay, so his confidence is going, he knows what's going to work with his audience, what he can change his speech as well, what he's going to deliver and so on during the stage. It works this way. Okay, so let's recap quickly. Preparation, remember, so important. Remember what Lincoln said. Okay, if you're given 6 hours, you need to work 4 hours on your preparation. How about the speech? Okay, handling stress, breathing technique. Okay, handling stress, preparing with speech, tells them. Introduction should be a big bang, atomic bomb, I said. Then a conclusion, which people are going to leave with. Okay, it's going to remain in their mind. Your message, the message that you want people to leave with, you need to put that in the conclusion. And then link each of the conclusion and introduction by a strong body. And then the visual aids, okay, they are aids. They're going to help you remember what you need to speak, remember about the busy slide and so on, use high quality pictures, the infographics, which are used nowadays, a new trend. And if possible, use relevant pictures of you as well. This is my 4th generation, which I'm putting forward, and I think it's working. And delivery techniques, okay, the body language and what we discussed, I think the tonality and things like that as well. And then it's all about practice. That was it from me. Okay, slightly off target, I think 8 minutes pause, but I think I've given you maximum I could give within this 1.5 hours. And if you need more help, you have some questions you want to discuss with me, these are my contacts. You can reach out to me and we can work. You can coach you as well. We have a speakers club. If you want to attend, it's free, of course, for guests. For 1 or 2, you can attend. I think a few students attended last time. If you're interested to learn about public speaking, you are all welcome to do so. So that was it from me. Maybe I don't know if we have a few questions. Maybe I don't see any questions in the chat. Anything you would like to share, to discuss? I know it's time for dinner. Okay, nothing. You have my email address, you have my contact detail. If anything you want to discuss with me personally, you can reach out to me. So I see this opportunity of thanking the IT campus and the other group, which I have not remember well. Sorry for that. But thank you for inviting me, for giving me this opportunity of presenting this to you. I learned it maybe after my studies when I had to move out of my comfort zone to be able to learn about, because I did a goal setting. Okay, I knew where I was, I knew where I wanted to be. So public speaking was in the way. I needed to stop being timid. I'm still timid, but when I'm in my presentation mode, in my public speaking mode, go away with timidity and so on. Then you as well, okay, you can't know exactly how timid I was. Okay, you can ask my wife and maybe people who know me from before. I'm super timid, but then you can, if I can do that, I think you can do that. If you want more help, you can be coach, I can help you. There are so many people out there who can help you, just get in touch. So that was it from me. Thank you for bearing with me for all that time. Hope it has been helpful. I see a lot of thank you. So thank you for the organizers for having me here, okay, for setting everything up for that. So that was it from me. Presentation over. Maybe Zuleika, would you like to add something?
That was a terrific presentation. I think I have everything I need to run for president now. Thank you so much, Mr. Swire. Thank you. Thank you a lot.
So thank you, everyone. All the best. So I'm going to wish you bon appetit if you're going to have dinner, and see you next time. Okay, anytime you want, we can have a discussion, and we can do that live as well when the university resume. COVID-19 is over. We can have a live presentation about the body language and so on. It's so interesting. Okay, so take care. Bye-bye. That's all from me. I love you all. Stay safe and all the best to you. See you. Take care.